Welcome to the Anonymous Andrew podcast. Life and the choices we make, the choices other people make. This is a podcast that explores all things as they relate to dating, romance, and relationships. Why we sometimes ignore or miss the red flags. Red flags like gaslighting, cheating, lying, psychological manipulation, mental illness, addiction, and so much more. Join me each week as we continue my journey into the modern dating world with my weekend rants, anonymous guest dating stories, and experts who share their wisdom so I can help you navigate the dating terrain. If you are new to the show or have been following me from the beginning, hold on tight for the Anonymous Andrew experience. Now on to the show. Greetings, Anonymous Andrew, with you with the weekend update. So, it is Saturday, September 23rd. You think I would know the date, but nope, another long day. So, here's the deal. I have switched over all my software. I've been using software that came with the computer, minus a couple things I did have to purchase. But I want to give a shout out to a community called Podmatch. And Podmatch is run by Alex and Alicia Sanfilippo. I think I pronounced that right. And it's a great community. You join and they give you, they basically put you in a database with other guests, experts, and podcasters, and they match you. It's almost like a dating site, except it's not for dating, it's for podcasting. And they have so many different tools available to podcast. Everything from they don't make some of the software, but they have made deals with some of the companies. I now use Squadcast and Descript for video recording and editing. There's something called PodSop. I could give you the whole list, but it's probably would bore you. So anyway, I just want to give a shout out to Podmatch. So why did I even mention that is because I am now on a completely new platform. This is not, I used to use Zoom. Everybody used Zoom, right? But Zoom is for web conferencing, and you can host big meetings, and it wasn't really designed, the audio and the video quality, for podcasters. So I already had a subscription to Zoom, but it runs out next week, so I switched over to this new platform. And so you actually looking and watching and listening, because this is going to hopefully be on YouTube, but it will also be an episode. It'll be my weekend episode rant. I'm testing it out on you folks because I really haven't used it yet. This is the first time I'm using it. Anyway, let's do a couple of reviews, because I do think I got 2 new reviews. I don't know if I read these to you. Okay. I may or may not have. So unless you're listening carefully, you may not even know. So one is from somebody that wrote, I remember I did a rant about the Apple ID. Again, here we have another Apple ID that I don't know how they do this. Everything is taken. 1, 2, 3. 5 stars. What a wonderful podcast. I enjoy following Andrew's journey. Sometimes I feel as if I learn and grow alongside Andrew after hearing stories from Andrew and the guests. So thank you to Everything is Taken. And the next one is from Brian. He does leave a last name, but I'll leave it out. 5 stars. Life as real as it gets. if you want to listen to some good rants on life, this podcast is for you. So there you go. More positivity or more appreciation for these weekend rants. And I guess for this weekend, I don't know if I have one specific rant. It is, what did I say, September 23rd. We have some tropical storm hitting us. I think it's Tropical Storm Ophelia. It's hitting the New York City area as I speak. It is howling wind outside. It is pouring. It's pretty nasty. I was out a little earlier. I had to pick up some stuff, but it's not pleasant. Today, tomorrow, and Monday, I think we're supposed to get 3 days of rain. What a better weekend than to hunker down. So I'm in between seasons, right? I'm supposed to be on this break. There is no break. I'm not taking a break. What I'm doing is I'm transitioning season 1 into season 2. Season 1, all about the ex, what she did, how I handled it, didn't handle it, didn't pay attention to my gut. You know, this morning I listened to, I listened to so many podcasts. I can't remember when I listened to it, but I listened to a podcast. I want to give the guy credit. Deeper Dating. But that wasn't the podcast. I'm forgetting. I think the podcast is called Sometimes We Have to Do the Hard Things. They were talking about liars. And it was a very interesting podcast. It was all about lying. They said that everybody lies. And you could even say to yourself, I don't lie, but everybody lies. And they went into details about white lies, which they immediately said was a politically incorrect term. But it was interesting how they broke down the necessary evil lies, the lies that we tell our children. If you're a parent, sometimes you have to lie to them to either protect them or protect yourself. I could give you some examples, but I don't think it matters. But I just thought it was interesting because my last relationship was one big lie. Everything that I was told was a lie. Up until even and including possibly the I love yous. Do I believe that she loved me at one point? Yes, but everything in between, even some of the stories. I'm not here to rant about that, but I just found a podcast episode about lying, and it seems like we all do it, but some of us don't do it with intent to hurt. What she did was intent to deceive, and that's what a real lie is somebody purposely tells you something that they know is deceitful in order to deceive you. And if you lie to somebody to deceive them for their own benefit, to protect them, you know what? I can't really go into it. It was just a 45 minutes to an hour episode of about, they broke down all different types of lying. We all do it. And, but we're not all pathological liars. Like everything that we say all day long is a lie. Sometimes we embellish things. Sometimes we say it to protect either the innocent or the guilty or whatever. So, I just wanted to talk about that. Let's talk about my dating. This is why I'm here. So, I think I talked about a couple of days ago about dating with intent, and this So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to drop one more episode. So in between season 1 and season 2, I'm dropping episodes that I recorded but I did not release. So I did one last week. This is the weekend rant. And on Tuesday, I'm going to drop an episode with somebody that I recorded a while back. A great guest, just didn't have a place to put her in the first season. So she'll be dropping on Tuesday. And then I think I'll do a weekend rant next weekend. And then the following week will be October, the first week. And I will start season 2. I already have, I think 10 episodes recorded already. So that's 10 weeks worth of episodes. Because I'm only doing one guest a week now and one weekend rant. So I have 10 guests already lined up. That'll take us through Christmas. Right? 4, 8, 12. Yeah, that's 12 weeks. Almost up to Christmas. So, but I'm also looking for anybody who wants to come on and tell us there's a dating story, good or bad. If you have a dating story, especially if you met somebody on a dating app or in real life, but it went horribly south, and it aligns with this podcast, or you think you anonymously would like to come on here and talk about it, please contact me. It could also be a good one. This podcast isn't always about negativity. In the first season, it was about a horrible experience I had. But season 2 is just going to be about dating in the modern world and the ins and outs and the ups and downs. So if you have a good story, how you met your wife, how you met your husband, how you met your girlfriend, and all genders and all, doesn't have to be heterosexual, whatever works for you. Again, I just got off the phone with Sophie. Sophie was in season 1. She has some horrible dating, I guess, a story that she's really upset with the dating apps. And this is what we're going to cover in season 2 is, I guess, dating apps versus the dating in the real world, organically and all that. I also want to talk about, I brought this up a while back, and I was thinking about it. There's something called, you may have heard of it by now because it's all over social media, a pear ring. Pear. I don't know how they spell it. It might be P-E-A-R, but it's more P-A-I-R. And it's a turquoise silicone ring that you would wear on your, I don't know which hand you put it on, but you buy it and you pay for it and they ship it to you and you wear this ring and it signifies, it tells wherever you're out and about that you're single and that you're looking for, that you can be approached. And I thought about it. They're actually, if you go on social media and see any of the commercials or advertisements for it, they're saying it's the world's largest social experiment. Here, and I think it's an interesting concept. And I was going to get it, but I have a couple of issues with it. Number one, it's a synthetic or a silicone ring, so it's not metallic. It's turquoise, so it's going to look kind of odd on your finger, and it's going to stand out, and I'm sure they do that on purpose. A turquoise green ring is going to stand out. So if I'm wearing this ring, anybody, and you're walking around, and two things. One is your family and or friends or colleagues at work are going to notice this, and they're going to ask about it. They're going to, if you were wearing a silver, gold, or gemstone ring or something, nobody's, other than if it's beautiful, they may comment, oh, what a beautiful ring. But if they see this green ring on your finger, somebody's going to say to you, what is that? And then you're going to have to go into this explanation about what it is and why you're wearing it. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if I want to tell my boss, one of my colleagues, somebody that works, that maybe one of my employees, why I'm wearing a green turquoise silicone ring. It's none of their business. But it's going to be, by wearing the ring, you're calling attention to yourself, which is the idea. You're calling attention to yourself. So somebody else who might be wearing the ring, or who knows about this ring, they will feel comfortable to approach you. The idea is, if you're wearing the ring and somebody sees it, they know you're single and that you're open to be approached. That's where my second problem lies. They don't have a color coded thing, I think, where age matches. So if I'm, you guys love it when I'm vulnerable and honest. If I'm in the supermarket, and I'm 63, and I look across the aisle and I'm going to pick a number, okay? There's a 38 to 44-year-old, let's say, and I think she's really attractive and she's wearing the ring. Yes, I'm going to feel more comfortable to approach her because she's wearing a ring telling me that she's approachable. But she may not be looking for a 63-year-old male partner. So that's where I find the problem. She's going to have to reject me, assuming she doesn't want a 63-year-old person. You see where I'm going here? So wearing this ring is going to say, yeah, I'm single, come talk to me. But you may not want to talk to everybody that approaches you. You see this person walking up to you, and they are not your type. Physically, you don't like the clothes they're wearing. Of course, we're talking about making judgments now by, judging a book by its cover. But you see somebody approaching you, and then they say, oh, I see you wearing the ring. And immediately you're just not into their physical form. It could be whatever it is. I don't even want to bring race into this, but even ethnicity. You may just not want to date out of your ethnic whatever. It could be a problem. It could be problematic, and that's why I didn't get it. I saw more problems coming out of wearing this ring than I thought of getting it to wear it for the podcast to see if it works. And I have to tell you, I've been looking for this ring as I go about my day. Today I went grocery shopping, and I went to get gas, and I did a bunch of stuff, and I was in a pharmacy. I look at people's hands. I don't see this green ring anywhere. Granted, I'm not smack in the middle of New York City, but I'm out in the suburbs, but it's very populated out here. So anyway, I didn't get the ring. I'd love to hear your feedback on it, if anybody did get the ring and what kind of experience you're having with it. Let's get back to some of the dating. All right. I am on literally 4 dating apps, okay? And I know over the past 2 to 3 weeks, I have spoken to you guys about several dates that I've gone on, and I even gave a name to some of the women that I was with. And again, if you're listening, those women one of the mistakes I made, and I'm going to say this out loud, that yes, I made a mistake by giving somebody that I meet on a dating app that I host a podcast, because the first thing they want is to listen to the podcast. And I give you this whole thing about sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. Because if you listen to the podcast and they hear season 1, Helen heard it and she said to me, you're not over your ex yet. You still carry a torch for her. So it worked in my favor there. So I'm not going to tell any new matches that I converse with on the apps that I have a podcast until they get to know me, because Helen and this other woman who I told, and they were able to listen to the podcast, already made up in their mind that this person, although Helen, if you're listening, I know you didn't make up your mind. Helen actually went on a date with me after listening to the podcast. Anyway, the point is that I'm not going to do that anymore. But I'm not sure what I'm still in the gray zone. I paid for 4 dating apps. And if you guys know, these aren't cheap. Some of them are like for 3 months, it's $100. Some of them are a lot more than that. Some of them are a little cheaper, depending on if you quit and you wait 3 weeks to give you a discount. It's all this crap. But I'm upwards of $500 somewhere on these 4 dating apps. And I'll tell you what they are. They're Hinge, Bumble, Silver Singles, and this new one called Koi Amore. I want to talk about that for a second. Koi Amore is, and I think I'm going to open up season 2 with the interview of the founder and developer of this app. It's for introverted people. It's for people who are not sociably, not sociable, period. They don't go to bars. They don't go to nightclubs. They may avoid large crowds, blah, 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 blah. But because you're introverted doesn't mean that you don't date. It just means that you might be shy, or you just may not like the large, noisy crowds or parties or barbecues or whatever. But you might want a partner. And I was doing some soul thinking, soul searching, soul brainstorming, which is very dangerous for me. I kind of fall into that category after what happened this past relationship. I have to tell you, folks, I used to be really outgoing, okay? The weekend would come. This is either before I got sober and after. I would plan trips. I would have all sorts of exciting things to do, especially if the weather was good. I would love to go to parties. I would love to go to events, take trips. In this past year, I have, and I talked about this a lot, I'm struggling to get out of my comfort zone, which is this. Okay, you probably can't see it too well. I did shut off the lights, so you can't see the background too well, but this is my living room. And I got a TV there, and that's my bedroom, and I got a TV in there, and this is my studio. I got half of my living room set up as a studio. This is my comfort zone. I like it here. And now, like this weekend is this tropical storm. There's nowhere to go. My tennis partner, we had to cancel. There's an indoor place we could play, but he said his back was hurting, so he didn't want to play. But I couldn't even play tennis this weekend. So anyway, back to the app. I joined this Koramori thing. The problem is he doesn't have quite the database of people yet. So there's not enough people on the dating app to get matched. Even if you do, they're not necessarily close to you. My going forth over the next month or two, I have got to change my mindset into dating with intent. Not dating to get into a relationship, but for example, and Helen, if you're listening to this, Helen and I went on one date, and I did have a great time, Helen. And Helen tried to connect with me the week after twice. Once was a connect, and then I don't want to get into details, but one couldn't be done The second one could have been done. It was a little bit of a short notice, but she did ask me to come with her someplace, and it was a short notice. Helen was really a short notice, I did have something to do that night. And I didn't follow up with Helen after that. I have not reached out to her. And I can't pinpoint in my mind why I haven't done that. And then there's another woman who I was talking to who did reach out to me as well, and I have not answered her. And yes, I have 4, 5 different women that I'm texting on these dating apps. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to do something which nobody would normally let you see. Right? Except Joe Rogan might be able to do that. But on YouTube, you take a sip of water, you would probably edit that out. But I'm talking and I need water. This is who I am, folks. I think I'm crossing over into the rambling zone. So once again, it's almost 7:30, and I have actually a lot of work to do. I got to learn how to when I'm recording, I have to edit on this new software, and I have no idea how to do it. So I think I'm going to end it there. Please support me with, if you like this, if you're listening, if you're watching, whatever, tell a friend. Shoot me an email, shoot me an Instagram. I am on every platform. I think I told you guys last week that I'm on TikTok now. Follow me on TikTok. I am on every social media, all of them, except Snapchat and something else. But TikTok and Instagram and X, which used to be Twitter, and Threads and Facebook, and all of them. All right? You can find me everywhere. I really want to get involved with this TikTok stuff. So if you find me on TikTok, follow me, say hello, whatever. All right, I'm done. If you need to make a choice, if you have to make a choice, and it's about choosing whether or not to continue dating somebody, or you're in a relationship and you have to make a choice whether to stay in that relationship, please choose wisely, because I did not, and it cost me a lot of pain that I am still healing from. Until next time, folks. Ciao.